You're lying there. How do you cope with being as popular and famous as you are?
Playing Mario Kart and Mario at the Olympics at like 8 o'clock in the morning.
So I've got 11 New Year's resolutions in total. Okay.
That's like 4 days a week for 3 years at uni.
Look how funny these Peppa Pig cookies are.
I'm turning 25 this year.
Imagine how weird that's going to be with no fans, drier than a nun's proverbial.
Is Ant and Dec one person or not?
Literally just you saying eat out to help out then, my arsehole clip. Follow me on Facebook. Hello and welcome to episode 19 of the In Brother Words podcast. Happy New Year, everyone. Nice to see you. And we've got a slightly different setup for this week, haven't we, Rob? Because we are on the Zoom, as Grandma and Grandad would say during our quizzes.
Shit start to the year for everybody, wasn't it, with the new lockdown? Lockdown 3. The 3 calls are never the best ones, are they?
No,
I'm getting a very much a Taken 3 vibe from this. It's not Shrek, or Shrek the Third, maybe.
That's dog, isn't it?
Dog egg.
So the current restrictions are making it obviously very hard for us in terms of, we can't have guests around. We can't have Nathan Dorr in the garden. We can't have BVM in the kitchen. But we're going to soldier on. We're going to do a few of these Zoom-style podcasts. We've already got a couple of interesting guests that have said they're going to come on Zoom, and I still think we can keep the good content coming. Today is kind of just a catch-up, isn't it? And for us to talk all about what we've been getting up to. We've got a few little fun things lined up as well. So let's start off with, obviously, probably the first time I thought about it is literally maybe second time. So I think I worked when I was in Milton Keynes on one Christmas. But it's definitely one of the only Christmases we've not spent together.
Yeah, that's true, yeah.
So what did you get up to?
Christmas Day, yeah. I think, so it was the first time we've had it at home as well. This house that I currently live in, and Dad and stepmom and stuff. Like, we usually go to Grandma and Grandad's and that, don't we? So that was weird, really. It felt quite weird for all of us to be staying in. Do you know what I mean? We're usually doing the presents and that, and then you're getting ready to go out. So that was a bit weird, but yeah, I was like pleasantly surprised by how much fun we had actually on the day. But obviously we've got Maisie sort of a source of entertainment, really. So obviously Maisie, who you know from the podcasts in the past, 9-year-old sister. So she basically had a full day scheduled of games and things. So once the dinner was done, we literally just played back-to-back games throughout the whole day till 9 o'clock. So, and
what time was Maisie up?
She got up at, was it 6:30? Yeah. So, and she got a Nintendo Switch for Christmas, which was a right touch, to be honest. So, yeah, we were playing Mario Kart and Mario at the Olympics at like 8 o'clock in the morning.
Amazing. Yeah, it was only me and Louise this year. And then Louise's mum came back from work and we served up dinner. So it was quite a small one.
It's like yours, then?
But yeah, it was all right. I did have a bit of a moment in the morning. Like, I don't know, just because Christmas to me is sitting around watching Maisie open the presents, Grandma and Grandad come in, and do you know what I mean? It just suddenly hit me like bloody hell. But once you have your dinner and that, it's more or less over anyway, isn't it? I think it was the night time that like felt the most deflated, because that's usually when we'd maybe go to our uncles and we'd be doing drunken karaoke till 3-4 o'clock in the morning or whatever. And when you can't mix households and that, you don't really get that, do you?
Yeah, I think I went to bed at like 9 or 10 or something. That sounds like old fogey, but that's not what you'd usually do, is it? Usually be steaming in that. Like I was not. Well, I wasn't going to drink. This is a good story, actually. I'll tell you this. I wasn't going to drink, and then I think my stepmom, Lisa said, "Oh, should we have a Bucks Fizz?" But she was FaceTiming. She was FaceTiming her family at the time, so she sent my dad into the kitchen to go make the Bucks Fizz, and came in and gave him out. And I wasn't going to drink, but I thought, always made it now, so I like it. And I was like, I think I'd almost finished mine. I was like 3/4 of the way down. Elise had her first sip, and she said to Dad, she was like, that tastes weird. What's that? And she told him that it was it's Prosecco and orange juice, isn't it? And then so he made it with Robinson's orange squash, like orange cordial.
God. That is the most classic dad thing ever, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's Fox Biz, that is.
Yeah, it shows how cultured we are. I think I'd take after him in that way. But because it shows how cultured I am, the fact that I drank it. I didn't even
The
realise.
fact you've looked at it and thought it looks okay, because it must have been pale.
No, it wasn't. That was the thing. He'd put the amount of Robinson's orange juice that you would put. He put enough orange juice in it, but it was
so he's put it as if it was orange juice.
Yeah,
so like
undiluted
quite a bit.
Robinson's. So it was probably 3 parts undiluted Robinson's, 1 part Prosecco or something. So imagine what that tasted like.
Just for the record, like actual Bucks Fizz, which we had, it's banging. Like, why do we restrict that to once a year?
Yeah, it's good.
It's really good, isn't it? I
had that dodgy one. We had an actual bottle of like pre-mixed one.
Pre-mixed,
Worked way through that. That's nice, isn't it? It's obviously they've got the perfect blend now, haven't they?
Big flex, but we had a M&S Bucks Fizz, and it was banging. That was on Rishi, that was. But no, it was really good. Me and Louise made Christmas dinner this year. I've never made like from start to finish a whole Christmas dinner, but it was superb, to be honest. I think people get turkey anxiety, don't they?
Yeah.
Especially Dad. Dad was going on about the turkey for months, wasn't he?
Yeah.
And the reason is, so people get scared that they're either going to overcook it or undercook it. But the fear of undercooking it is a lot stronger than the fear of overcooking it.
Oh, yeah.
So people read the instructions and then they put it in the oven for the amount of time it says, plus about half an hour, just to be safe. But that just to be safe is the difference between having a nice turkey and being drier than a nun's proverbial.
Yeah.
Because turkey is banging if you cook it properly. But yeah, it was really good. M&S delivered. M&S produce.
So what games in that did you do? Did you do anything like that, like in the afternoon and stuff?
No, to be honest, we played cards. We've got this game where it's like blow up antlers and you throw hoops onto it. I remember we used it in the quiz last year. And then we found like a Mr. and Mrs. game online. Yeah, like had like 100 questions and you have to answer for each other and do that. There was a round where you did the whole like, pink or blue paddles and stuff. But really,
so
it
was Louise's mum. Louise's mum like Phil Schofield, and then you and Louise were playing the
game. No, she didn't get too involved in the game. Obviously, she'd been at work all day at a care home on Christmas Day. It was quite full on because they still have like Christmas dinner and stuff. And she's a hostess at the restaurant there.
Oh, okay.
It's one of these like private, expensive ones. I mean, people paying thousands a month to be there and stuff. So it's I imagine quite demanding. So she was quite tired, but no, ultimately, I think we've all just sacrificed this Christmas to then, because I imagine some people did bend the rules and stuff, but we really did stick to it. I mean, like we literally only had us two here, but we all kind of just did it in the hope that next year we could make up for it.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, it's funny. We had a game of charades, and I think I don't really play charades, so correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the idea is you're supposed to actually have the thing on a piece of paper, and it's like, right, it's this film or whatever, and then you do it, don't you? Whereas we were playing like a bit of a half-arsed game where basically we just coming up with whatever we could, and the overall topic was Christmas.
Right.
Dad found a flaw in the game, which was that because it wasn't written down on a piece of paper, you could essentially just say yeah when the person guessed. Do you know what I mean? So like, do anything, like, right. And then if they if they guessed anything, you just say yeah, it was. But it's funny. I was on Lisa's dad's knit team, Mick, and I was like, the thing I thought in my head was turkey. It was pretty simple. I thought he's definitely going to get this, so I literally just get it one of them, right? Because we had like a minute or something or 30 seconds, like time in it. So I was literally just doing that. So someone doing that, and the topic is Christmas. I thought, no brainer, he's got it. Do you know what I mean? 100%. And he literally said everything other than turkey.
Really?
Hen, chicken, literally everything. But then I realised
bird.
he's a vegetarian. I forgot that.
It's like if you're a vegetarian, all meats go out of your vocab as well.
Yeah, so that was good.
Any New Year's resolutions? Moving on to New Year.
Well, obviously, I started the Spanish last year. Old school fans of the podcast will know that on the Mark Bolton podcast, episode number 3, I said that I was going to start learning Spanish. So I've been doing that since then. So I've been doing it since May sort of time. So New Year's resolution, probably just carry on with that, keep that going as much as I can.
How do you feel you are? So when you did that with Mark, when we did that interview with Mark, and you were like, had you just started it then, or was it in the pipeline?
I think I've been doing it for about a month or something.
Okay, so if that was 0 out of 10, and 10 is like fluent, as in you could have a full-on conversation with a Spanish person.
Yeah, I mean,
where would you say you are?
Fluent's difficult, really, because there's no one's ever really fluent, unless you're literally born there. Because if you think about would you say that you're necessarily fluent in English? Do you know what I mean? It's difficult, isn't it? You can have conversational, and then you can have a standard where it's you've lived there. But that's so if that was a 9 or a 10, then I'm probably I don't know, a 2 or something, 1 or a 2.
Oh, okay.
Because basically, I'm doing Rosetta Stone, and it's supposed to take you, it's 20 modules, and each one takes you roughly a month if you do half an hour a day or something like that, what they recommend.
Mm-hmm.
So it should take you just under 2 years, basically, to do that. And that really takes you from literally no idea whatsoever to what they class as being a high beginner standard.
Mm-hmm.
And I've only got 5 modules left, so I've done that at a quicker pace than usual, sort of got through it. So once I finished that off, I would say I was at a high beginner, to the point where you've seen most of the words and heard most of the words that you'd see in, say, normal life. And I feel if I was reading Spanish or listening to somebody, especially if they were speaking slowly, as they were talking about something that was in general life, I think I would have an idea what they were talking about already. It's the next step, really. The big jump is being able to be conversational and build your own sentences and stuff. But that thing that you and Louise got me for Christmas, it's good thing about doing it on it. I can literally have things to the side. It's short stories in Spanish, and they're 4 chapters each. And after every chapter, there's it's a comprehension worksheet thing with questions and stuff, and keywords and that. So and it's literally, this whole story is completely in Spanish. So you have to sort of try and get through it. So it says at the front how to read it, and it says, number 1, just read it and try and get through it as well as you can. And then 2 is read all the key words at the end and reread it again, and then you answer all the questions and stuff. And that is pitched at a beginners to intermediate level, and I've been all right with that. So that's probably where I would say I was. Yeah.
So I've got 11 New Year's resolutions in total, and I'm not going to sit here and rattle through them all for a reason, which I'll explain in a minute. But I'm just going to mention a couple. And one of them, if you follow me on, oh God, I sound like such a granddad then, follow me on Facebook. If you're friends with me on Facebook, I get it all mixed up. I say follow and yeah. This book here, it's just called The Journal. It's by a company called Mind Journal. And it's basically, this one is aimed at men. I'm sure there are ones out there for women as well. But it's basically, so gratitude journaling is something that Louise kind of explained to me, because she does it with her clients. She's a mental health recovery worker. And gratitude journaling is basically just getting you kind of reflecting and appreciating the good things that you have in life. Because when you're all bogged down with negative stuff, you don't think about the little things. And actually, when you write them down, there's a lot. Do you know what I mean? If you can focus on them rather than the things, the uncertainties and that, it can boost your mental health and stuff. But it's not just that. Basically, journaling in general is so every day, almost like writing a diary entry, but going more into how you're feeling. It also explores your weaknesses and stuff like that. And where there was one called the relationship map, where you put everyone in your life on there, and the nearer to the middle, the more important they are. and you can make like patterns with like, why are these people so important and these not? What can you do to bring these closer? And it's really amazing. So there's like different activities every day. It's a 90-day thing, so 3 months in one journal. And by the end of it, the aim is that you then buy the next book. So this was $29.95. And then the next one is basically just like blank pages with the occasional prompt, because it's getting you to the position where you can just journal independently. Yeah. Like you don't need the thing at the start of each one that says, how do you feel today? What were your achievements today? Like you'll naturally just be able to reel them off and write independently. So yeah. I can't encourage people to have a look at this more. Even if you don't particularly think, your mental health needs a boost or anything, it's just to really, now 20 minutes before I go to bed every night, I do this, and it just adds a bit of structure and whatever. So we'll put the link to this in the description of this podcast. And number 2 of my 11 things is to get my blog up and running again. So for those that don't know, I've got a blog called Knives and Thoughts. And I couldn't believe it. The last upload was May last year. And at one point it was doing really well. It was getting like 400 or 500 reads per article. I was amazed because I then looked today between my last upload and today. So I looked at October, November, December last year. So obviously it's like a graveyard at that point. We've still got over 80 visits and 80 reads. Like I don't get how, because it's not been an upload on there since May, but just goes to show like it did go down really well, and I wanted to reboot that. So at the time this podcast goes out, my latest upload will be on there, my latest blog upload, and in that I go through all 11 of my New Year's resolutions, as well as just to catch up on what's going on in the Christmas period and whatever. So if you want to go and give that a read, go and check it out.
Brilliant.
So yeah, that's the jam. We've got a few fun things we're going to discuss today, haven't we? What did you want to go into next? Did you want to look at some of the things we're looking forward to this year? Have you got any positivity to spread?
Trying to spread some positivity, aren't we? Because obviously, like I say, lockdown 3 and everything with the schools and all this sort of shit going on, everyone's getting a little bit depressed on that, aren't they? So I think it's good if we have a look at the things to potentially look forward to in 2021. Now, this is all assuming these things are going to happen. Hopefully, with the rollout of a vaccine and the fact that obviously we're in the winter now, so it's always going to be worse. So hopefully towards the summer, these things will come on. But big thing I'm looking forward to is the Euros.
Yeah.
Euro 2021. So obviously that's
not Eurovision.
That was obviously supposed to be last year, last summer. But so they just kicked it along 1 year. But I wonder what they're going to do with it, because so it's on the 11th of June to the 11th of July, and it's supposed to be in 12 different cities. Which
can't be, can it?
Yeah, you would imagine, like, if they're going to go ahead with it, which I really think they will, then surely they're just going to pick a location and just like make a massive bubble with all the squads in. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, literally in like 2 or 3 grounds. Like you can't do it in loads of places, can you?
Yeah, it might even be in the UK, depending on our situation with COVID.
Let's put it in the country with the highest death rate in Europe. That'll do.
Yeah, but it's also a country that's been having like elite level football for the last 6 months now. Do you know what I mean? Like,
that's true.
We can put it on, and obviously you've got like the backing of UEFA and stuff. You'd hope that they could come up with a way to actually make it work. I think it'll be brilliant. Like last summer was obviously supposed to be like a summer of sport, because obviously another thing which I get onto is the Olympics as well. It's supposed to be this summer, so like that they're always my favourite summers, when you got the Olympics and the Euros like on the same one. Do you know what I mean?
Imagine how weird that's going to be with no fans.
Yeah, no, well weird, wouldn't it? But and that's
still make it work.
Yeah, it's supposed to be in Tokyo, and apparently they've had a spike in cases and stuff recently. So, but hopefully, obviously for Fraser's sake as well. So Fraser Clark, who we had on the podcast, he's supposed to be going to the Tokyo Olympics. For people like him, like, you really hope it goes ahead. I mean, he won't care if it's a crowd or not. You know, if it was in Britain, I think obviously you would want a crowd if you're British. But I'm sure he's boxed in front of nobody before. Do you know what I mean? At different shows and stuff. So
yeah, I think when you're that committed, especially like to Fraser's level, like obsessed with Olympic success, I don't think a crowd being there or not matters, does it?
Yeah. I think it depends what sport it is. Some sports, obviously, even when there is a crowd, they don't go and watch it because it's boring or whatever. Do you know what I mean? Like, or it's the sport is actually designed to not have a crowd. But then
Yeah.
a lot of boxing events, you know, a lot of those boxers will have boxed all around the world in different tournaments where there's literally no one there. So I think you're used to it. Whereas there's obviously things like the 100 meters and stuff. What's that going to be like without a crowd? Do you know what I mean? Like seems like one of them things that the crowd love, don't they? But yeah, so hopefully the Euros and the Olympics go ahead because that gives us something to do at least over the summer.
From a broadcast, like from a viewer perspective, the fake crowd noise and stuff, like, is quite good, I think. Do you know what I mean? But I don't know how it would feel being there.
Yeah. Well, a lot of it's in camera rather than in venue. So you wouldn't even.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So it depends what they do. It depends what the venue does. A lot of the crowd noise for the football is put in like in the production, so it's on Sky when you watch it, but it's not pumped into the stadium, for example.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah, depends. Some venues that is the case, and some not. But I think depends. Like I say, I think it depends what the sport is. But I think I'd probably want to be on the side of just what the natural thing is, at the natural ground. But yeah, so other than that, what else is there in the year? I'm turning 25 this year. So I was thinking, right, my birthday is in July. That's the one thing I'm looking for, thinking, could there potentially be the chance of some sort of night out in some way? But I'm not anticipating like a nightclub or anything like that. I think it's still probably too soon. But maybe like we'll be back at the levels where we were, you know, like in the sort of August, September period where you had your Eat Out to Help Out and everybody was sort of still going out and stuff down Burton. And
literally just you saying Eat Out to Help Out then, my arsehole clenched.
Yeah, but
a horrible time.
Do you know what I mean? Though, like when you could, like, I went on a bar crawl a couple of times and stuff.
We've all just got to pray that like there will be a pattern emerging eventually once all the vaccines are kicking in and stuff, that, you know, deaths are going down or whatever. Because like if you were to imagine we were still in the tiered system, what tier are we in now? Like it's got to be at least 6, 7 potentially. It could even go higher than this. I know those tiers don't exist, but you know, you get what I'm saying, that like how much has got to come down to even be at like tier 3, which means you can't go to restaurants. Like tier 3 is just takeaway only.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Tier 2, you can go, but it's like maximum of 6. To be honest, tier 2 would be fine. Like that's enough. You can still go to places, have a drink, you know, 10 o'clock curfew and only 6 of you, but it's better than nothing, isn't it?
Yeah.
But I think we're a long way. I think we're a long way off.
Yeah, but there's a long way to go. It's still 6 months until her birthday. So that's what I'm saying. I'm aiming for that as some sort of like hope point at that point. I'm not sure, but is what it is, isn't it? Like, obviously, the dream we would be able to go on, like on holidays and stuff. You know, towards the end of the year, I saw an interview with Nathan Dorr again, dropping another former guest. He said that
weird flex, but okay.
They were saying to him what you're looking forward to this year, and he said that they're anticipating back end, like last quarter of this year, to be able to do some gigs again. Which would be amazing, wouldn't it? Imagine being him, like, it's going to be, 18 months until he's done a gig. So imagine doing this, like, big sesh or, you know, going out in Ibiza and doing a gig or whatever. It'd be unreal, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I think people are thinking, I like underestimating the mental effects of this on, like, the arts, for example. So, you know, people who you think, they have an amazing life, you know, like bands and whatever. Just imagine what this is like. It's like hell, innit? Because that's all you kind of live for, and it's your only like money making touring. I've heard that from a lot of like, you know, famous singers and that in interviews and whatever, that your money maker is gigs and that's it. Like you make nothing off Spotify or anything. So without that, it must be horrible. I just imagine how like eager they are to get out there. Yeah. I can just see. I don't know when it'll be. I'm hoping like very end of this year, potentially the start of next. Like just a massive boom of everything when everything goes back. So like every restaurant, bar, everything will be fully booked for like 2-3 months.
Yeah.
Like everyone will be doing shows and gigs and employment will rocket and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, well, I was talking to somebody at work, because obviously we have like economists at work who it's their job is to like predict what's going to happen and stuff. And they're basically saying that obviously outside of certain industries that pretty much won't exist after this, but then obviously they get replaced with new industries that hadn't been anticipated before. It's not like a normal crisis like the 2008 financial crisis, for example, where basically the entire economy was built on sand and then it collapsed and then it's going to take years to build it back up. This is like just a halt, basically. There's no reason why, unless obviously you work in an industry which is now, like I say, doesn't exist after this, which is very few industries really. There's no reason why it shouldn't literally just pick up back where it was. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true. I have thought about that.
We're going to be paying for it in terms of the things like the furlough scheme and stuff like that, and the amount of money that the government's had to pay out. We're going to be paying back for it in increased taxes for years. But in terms of an actual like return, in the stock markets and things, it should be almost instant, really, because there's no.
Yeah, there's a lot of people who obviously have been really badly affected, either losing jobs or not getting a great amount of furlough or whatever. But there's also a large percentage of people who, are like receiving a decent amount of furlough or on salaried jobs or whatever.
Yeah.
And you're basically in the same, if not a slightly stronger position than before lockdown. So I don't think there'll be an issue with spending. I think people will be straight back out there.
And everyone's going to be desperate to be, like the holiday industry. Yeah, if you own an airline now, you're just desperate to be around when things come back. Do you know what I mean? You just don't die before everything comes back, because no one's going to imagine how much people are going to go on holiday.
It's like the shithouse Ryanair advert, jab and go. That's like classic there, isn't it?
Yeah. But that's literally like, if you survive long enough, if you don't go bust before everything can go back to normal, then they're going to make more money than they ever have, because everyone's desperate to go on holiday, aren't they? And then we've
got a week in Bulgaria booked and paid for in, when's that?
July.
We've got a weekend in Liverpool all booked and paid for that we've moved it to September for my birthday, but the receptionist I spoke to on the phone yesterday was even like, we're just guessing, aren't we?
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I think that's kind of what I hang on to, like how nice and exciting that period is going to be.
Oh yeah.
Hectic and stressful for like my job, but I think it'll be enjoyable. I'm sure we'll all find the time to have some time off and enjoy freedom again.
Yeah, sure. Right.
Have you been watching anything on Netflix? All right. Do you want to catch up on?
Yeah. Oh, should we talk about Pixar films?
Yeah, why not?
Right. So, obviously we did our Pixar tier list, didn't we? At that point, I hadn't watched Coco. But I've already done the update, which I now have, and I thought it was really good. So that's in the elite tier now. And over the Christmas period, I set myself a target to watch a load of films, basically, because we're both the same, really. We're just terrible at watching films, aren't we? People say, "Oh, have you seen this?" And no, it's often the answer. So I watched Onward, which was the only Pixar film I hadn't seen, and then I watched Soul, which is the Pixar film, the brand new one that came out on Christmas Day. And big fan of both, but I personally loved Onward. It's like one of my favourite ones I've ever seen.
Yeah,
loved it. Soul, I think it's got a good reception. I did like it, but I think you'd hate it. It's very.
It looks like Inside Out.
Yeah, it's literally. It's not the same thing, but it's very similar. Conceptually, I preferred Onward because, like, for the same reasons we don't like Inside Out, where it's just a little bit too, like, the concept's a little bit too, in the mind or the soul or whatever. I don't know, not really for me. But Onward was really, really good, really good. So do you know the premise of the film and stuff? Or?
No,
because I didn't even see any adverts in that for it when it was originally supposed to come out. I don't even knew it was a thing when I saw them selling it in Tesco when I went shopping a few months back. And I knew it was about elves and stuff, so I thought, probably crap. But basically, it's set in the modern world, but everyone is an elf or a minotaur or all this sort of mythical beings, and their ancestors were all magic. But then they all live in the modern world, and because of electricity and technology and stuff, none of them use their powers. They all just live like us, but they are actually elves and stuff, and they are magical. And basically these two brothers have to go on an adventure, basically. And it's really good because they use that that sort of like joke setup of bringing those people into the modern world, they've got like loads to go with, and they nail it like really. It's really, really good. So there's this woman, and she's like, there's like only one of her ever in the world at any time. She's like a lion who can fly with a big scorpion tail. She's like this big scary thing. So like her ancestors was like the scariest thing you could be, but now she runs like it's like a TGI Friday sort of thing. It's
Really?
Yeah. It's like there's loads of really, really good jokes in it because it like sets itself up really well. So yeah. Highly recommend it, definitely. And yeah, Soul's good as well.
So I watched The Holiday over Christmas with Louise. Have you seen
that?
that?
Yeah.
I thought, oh, here we go, soppy rom-com, but it was great. I really liked it.
What's a minute?
Not really binged anything on Netflix since The Queen's Gambit. Not really watched. We're
did
going to watch that. We're going to watch that Bridgerton thing.
Oh yeah.
Have you seen
the basic bitch, aren't you? You watch
all big time, yeah.
If it's number one trending on Netflix, you binge it. That's it. That's what
we lie there and watch number one trending with a Starbucks. You can't get much more basic bitch than that, can you?
Did you watch Ozark?
No.
Oh, so you let that one slip you by when that was number one trending.
Yeah, I'm still halfway through Narcos as well. Narcos.
Yeah. Ozark's really good. I actually watched a film called Game Night the other day, and it's got Jason Bateman in it. And I was watching it thinking, if there was ever going to be a film about my life, you know, they get that question, who would play you in the film of your life? 100% it'd be him. You know, Jason Bateman. You know, that is, you crap with names, aren't you? That's your thing.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I recognise his face from somewhere.
He's brilliant. He's great. Because he does, like, serious acting really well, but then his comic timing is fantastic. So,
what's he been in that I know of?
Loads of, like, comedy films. Have you seen that? I think it's called The Change Up. It's him and Ryan, one of the Ryans, Ryan Reynolds, I think it is.
Ryan Reynolds, yeah.
But yeah, he's great.
Is he in Deadpool?
No, that's Ryan Reynolds. I hope I've got Reynolds and Gosling the right way around, otherwise I'm getting in the comment section.
Yeah, I know his face. I don't know who I'd get to play me in a film. Someone with a big head.
James Corden, probably.
Billy Brewer. Right, I've got a little game I want to play with you, if that's okay.
Yeah.
Do you want to play? I've got 11. No, I've not. I've got 10 birthday cakes that people have made because at the moment, obviously with COVID and that, it's a bit restricted. There's people's birthdays during lockdown, and you kind of have to do your best to make it a special day for either your kid or your loved ones, yeah? So I've got 10 examples of cakes that have gone terribly wrong, and all you need to tell me is who the cake's meant to be.
Okay.
You ready?
Yeah, I'm going to be terrible at this.
If you're listening on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, appreciate that this is quite a visual feature, but head over to YouTube and rewatch this a little bit because it's well worth it. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Number 1. This one. I'm going to move out of the way for you.
It's a bit too zoomed in, like I can't see it.
Is it?
Yeah, the photo.
Oh. Okay, there's not really a lot I can do about that one. Can you kind of tell?
God, it's like Pete Bird.
It's meant to be Elsa.
Oh yeah, I won't have a clue on that. She hasn't got red lipstick, has she?
No, I don't think so. Right, number 2. You ready?
Yeah.
Who is this?
Okay, don't tell me. Okay, so
it's hard to get out of the way. I'm gonna have to just zoom out.
Just move your hand out of the way. I can see it.
Look like I'm on Price Drop.
Okay, so yellow face.
Tell me through your options.
So I'm thinking that it's 2 ears, 2 eyes, and then like a failed mouth.
Yeah.
Yellow face. See, I thought it was just like an emoji, but obviously it's got ears, so must actually supposed to be something.
Yeah.
It's not one of the Simpsons, is it?
Just lock in your answer.
It's got to be a bear of some sort, surely, with the ears and stuff. The eyes are a bit weird because it's like they're just literally like, bleh. You mean 2 circles? That's it. It's not much effort's gone into it. Who's that supposed to be? I don't know. I'll just go for like an emoji or something. Like off the Emoji Movie. I watched that again the other day. Actually.
Yeah. Okay, the answer is Pikachu.
No, I've never figured that out.
They haven't even got the red bits on the cheeks, have they?
No.
I had great fun researching these. Number 3 is this one.
Okay. Right. God, that's hard.
This one's hard because you can't see the dress. Let me explain the dress to you.
Okay.
It's she's in a yellow dress.
Okay. Is it supposed to be like Belle?
Yes, Belle.
Is it?
Yeah. Next one. All right. So this isn't a this isn't a character as such, but it's meant to be something. You're never going to get this, so you might as well just let me tell you.
There we go. That is awful, isn't it? Whatever it is.
Yeah, it doesn't. You wouldn't put it in your mouth, would you?
No.
You probably had worse in your mouth, to be fair.
Not a character.
It's not a character, no.
So what? It's just like a thing.
It's a thing, yeah.
Like an animal.
Yeah, it's a something animal.
Like a rabbit.
So for example, I could say a medieval cow. Do you know what I mean? So it's like a something animal.
Yeah, I ain't got a clue. Go on.
It's an Egyptian cat.
Yeah.
That looks terrible, doesn't it?
You sort of see it with the ears, and I think that's probably supposed to be some sort of jewelry because they're like cats are like they make them into. They put them in the tombs and that, don't they? They're supposed to be really spiritual.
Mummify them, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, next one. Oh,
that's awful, guys.
What a shit show.
I feel like I should know that. But is it all the same cake? Is that more than one cake, or is it all the?
No, it's all one. It's a tray bake.
Can you just try and explain to me what this thing on the left is? That supposed to be like his body?
What, the blue thing?
Yeah, the blue and the white and the black.
No, the blue thing's like a table, and the black and white thing's a slice of cake.
Ah, okay. So he's the orange thing on the right.
Yeah.
Or she. Oh my god. What, like...
If I was a kid and my mum gave me any of these, I'd call Childline, wouldn't you?
That's terrible, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh god, I don't know. Like, what would it be?
Can you tell what animal it is? Can you tell what it is yet?
Going purely off the colourings, I'd probably have to go for like a leopard or a giraffe or something.
Okay, is that your final answer?
It must be someone. It must be a real cartoon character by the look of the face. It has to be, surely.
It is, yeah. It is, yeah.
Do his eyes look that noncy in real life?
Yeah. To be honest, the eyes are probably the most accurate thing of the whole thing.
Is that supposed to be a mouth? It looks like a penis, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's meant to be like a smirk.
You give me a clue, because this is going to ruin me.
Think of like a quite a nonchalant, fat, greedy orange animal. Cartoon character.
Wait, is it Garfield?
It's Garfield, yeah.
It looks nothing like him, does it?
It's awful, isn't it?
Yeah, the mouth and that is actually
right.
quite good.
This one's not in the game. This isn't one of the 10, but look how funny these Peppa Pig cookies are. Amazing. Right, you ready?
Yeah. It's got to be the Hulk, surely.
No, look at its face.
Oh, Shrek. Is it Shrek?
Yeah.
Wow.
Again,
What is that? What is it? Like a jelly or something?
I don't know. It looks like a blancmange.
Shrek.
All right, you ready?
Yeah. Oh, Dora.
Yeah.
It
That is a messed up Dora with a
is.
vagina for a mouth.
Oh yeah, it's a right mess, that isn't it?
Yeah.
Looks like a knitted.
Next one.
Is that Elsa as well?
No.
Don't tell me. What's going on with the eyes? One eye looking at you, one eye looking for you. Has she got a body or is it just a face?
Yeah, I think the. Hang on, because it's on its side. The green thing's her costume. That's a clue. And there's some wings there.
Oh, that Tinkerbell.
Tinkerbell. Yeah. Stinkerbell, that is.
I was going to get the Ursula off Little Mermaid. It's more like it.
All right, penultimate. Stevie Wonder made this one by the look of it.
That looks awful, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolute shit show. That's the worst looking one, potentially, other than the Egyptian cat.
Any of it accurate at all or not?
Yeah, the hair.
What hair? I can't even see the hair.
The red stuff's the hair.
Oh, that's hair. Oh, it's Ariel.
That'll give it away. It's Ariel. I think she wears like a purple thing.
No, to be fair, now I know it's her. I can see it, definitely.
But the purple splodges for eyes are interesting.
Yeah, she just
I
like
want to be a
I
part
assume
of that
that's
world.
a bra at the bottom.
Yeah.
Purple bits.
And then the last one.
What is that? Oh, it looks hilarious. Is the colour right? I can't recognise that colour.
Yeah.
The colour's right.
Yeah. The blue and then the red underneath. So bad.
I don't know.
Thomas.
Oh, a tank engine.
Yeah.
That looks nothing like it, does it?
Imagine your kid loving Thomas and getting that.
We should get him a Thomas cake. Don't bother, I'll make him one.
Yeah, wait, sorry. Do it with my eyes closed, literally. Right, and that's that feature. Did you enjoy it?
That was brilliant, yeah.
Should we do our dinner guests?
Oh, yeah.
So me and Robbie haven't discussed our answers to this.
Mm-hmm.
We just brainstormed a few things, didn't we? To talk about, and we're going to do our 5 dream dinner guests. So we've got a table of 6. Sticking with the tier 2 rules.
Can I change it slightly? Because, not to sound overly soppy, but I had you in my 5. But can we both go? so I don't have to have you as the 5.
Yeah, all right.
So can it be us 2 plus 5?
for the fact that I didn't think that deep and didn't put you in it, yes.
Because I always think of mine as, and this might sound weird, but like a lads gathering, basically. Maybe it's because of the people I have in there.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I see it as like there's people in there basically that I would want you to be there at the same time.
Okay, all right. So it's a table of 7 then, yeah. And me and you are taking up 2 of the seats, so we've got 5.
Okay, that makes it loads better then. All right. Still well odd, isn't it? Well odd, I think.
Yeah.
Do you want to?
I could think of loads.
Yeah. So, what's your opinion on like having historical people in there?
It all depends on how into it you are, because you're quite into history and stuff.
Yeah.
And like interested, and I'm not really. Like I don't really care.
Yeah. Well, I haven't got anybody dead in mind.
But like, I fully get behind, because Hitler was borderline on mine. And that doesn't mean you idolise him or you like him, or like, I want to know if he likes garlic mushrooms. It's like interesting. It'd be interesting just to be in a room with them.
Yeah, fair.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But no, I don't have any historical. I do have dead, but not historical.
Okay. Because I think that that whole like proverb about if a lion could speak, you still wouldn't understand what he was talking about. you know that whole thing?
I've not heard that. No.
But basically, like, have you ever heard like two really posh people have a conversation? And
Yeah, I work in Leamington.
Yeah, you don't know what they're on about. Like,
No.
they speak in English, but because their frames of reference are so far away from your life, you can't grasp what they're talking about in any way. So there's a whole thing about if a lion could speak English, nobody would understand what they were talking about, because then it's not a posh person. It's actually not even a person. Do you know what I mean? It's somebody who's a completely different species then at that point. So your frames of reference would be completely off. So I think if you had, like, say, Tutankhamun in there, or Jesus, or someone who lived centuries ago, or, millennium ago, you just wouldn't be able to talk to them, I don't think. Even somebody like in the early 1900s, like, how would that happen? How would the conversation go? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's why I try and stick mine to people who've are alive now, basically. Or everybody on my list is alive now. And I just see it as like a lads' night out, basically. That's what I've got.
Yeah. Fair enough. Should we do like one at a time each?
Yeah, can do. Okay. So I've got a list of about 15, and I'm going to decide like in the moment. I've sort of ranked them a bit. I think there's a few that are definitely going to get in. So off the bat, definite Ricky Gervais.
Okay, nice.
I don't think there's anybody who's had more influence in terms of like the things that I like to watch and stuff. Even all the podcasts, all his shows, everything. I've probably spent more of my life like watching, consuming his like content than anybody else on the planet. So to have the opportunity to meet him would be amazing. So yeah, definitely Jerv.
I can't tell whether he'd be a good night out though.
Yeah,
because he's vegan as well. Not, I'm not atting any vegans who watch this, but he seems quite like a healthy. Watches what he puts in his body and stuff. I don't know if he'd be doing shots at association.
Yeah, I don't know, but like obviously it's dinner party, isn't it? So it's like around the table.
Yeah, fair enough.
And I think he'd be good. I think you got to have at least one comedian, someone in there, somebody to like be the life and soul. So yeah, definitely Ricky Gervais.
Okay. Mm-hmm. My first one is Steve Irwin.
Nice.
The Crocodile Hunter. Because I just love him anyway. I still watch something like his stuff now on YouTube, and he just seems like the nicest guy ever, doesn't he? And imagine the stories he'd have as well. Are we doing it so that, like, I know you said you haven't got any dead people anyway, but like, could he tell us about his death? Is he there as a ghost or before he was dead?
No, I think you'd get. I think they have to know that they've died, because obviously they'd be now in the modern world. So yeah, they have to know they come from death, but you get them like in their prime. So yeah, maybe you get them literally just before they died or whatever.
Yeah, but yeah, Steve Irwin is up there. Absolute legend in my eyes.
That's a good one. Yeah. Okay. Is Ant and Dec one person or not?
No, they're in mine as well.
Are they?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if I can take. I love Ant and Dec. Don't get me wrong, but two spaces apart.
Ant and Dec, they've got to sit on each other's knees.
Yeah. If I could have them as one person, they'd be in there. But I'm starting to think, have I got?
Let's do that then. Let's have Ant and Dec on one chair.
Okay, that'd be good. So yeah,
and we'll both have that. Yeah.
For sure. Yeah, Ant and Dec. They also
we both idolise Ant and Dec, don't we?
Yeah, absolute legends. Like grew up together doing what they do, and they just love their job, and they just seem like they'd be awesome on a night out for sure.
Yeah.
Also, obviously, they work at Santander now, so I could talk to them about that. Yeah, enough said. Just absolute legends, the pair of them, aren't they? So they'll be in.
Yeah. So you've got Ant and Dec on one chair. I've got Ant and Dec on one chair. I've got Steve Irwin, and you've got Ricky Gervais.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you want to do your third chair?
Yeah. I'm going to go then. I'm going to go for Darren Brown.
Okay.
Again, I just think within the context of like a round table, he'd be like great value, wouldn't he, Darren Brown?
Yeah.
Like, because he can't help himself but do a trick here and there, can you? And so I think you'd learn loads from him. He seems like a really nice guy. I think within that group, your Ant and Dec and your Ricky Gervais and everything, I think he'd fit in well. And I think he'd be great at a dinner party. Do you agree?
Yeah, definitely. Seems like a nice guy as well.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, well, I've gone for... most people won't even know who he is, probably watching this. And he probably wouldn't bring anything to a dinner party, which is quite awkward. But you know who my absolute god is of music,
Oh,
and that's Matt Bellamy
Bellamy,
of
yeah.
Muse. So I can't have this meal and him not be there. To me, he's just like above god level. I've spent all my childhood and teenage years idolizing him, and my adult years.
Yeah.
Just the thought of meeting him makes me like throw up a little bit. I think I'd be so excited. So he's definitely in there because I'd be lying to myself if I left him out.
Would you get him to? Because I've heard somebody do this before, and this is actually somebody who very nearly made my list. Carl Pilkington.
Mm-hmm.
He did this before, and he said he'd have Elvis, and he'd ask him to get up and do a song. Would you get Matt to sing?
I'm going to bring his guitar, and just
do you want
do something? Yeah, but you could just stand there, and I'd spat my pants anyway. So.
I've got 2 seats left. I'm gonna go for The Rock.
Nice, good shout.
Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
Dwayne The Rock.
I just think, like, he ticks a load of boxes, doesn't he? Like, if on a night out, he runs his own tequila company, so you know that he would have a drink and that. No one's going to start on you, for, like, an absolute machine, isn't he? Plus, like, he's got loads of stories about, because obviously he's gone from nothing to wrestling, growing up in a wrestling family, making it massive, all the films he's been in. Like, he's just a complete legend, isn't he? He's got to be, like, top 5 most liked people on the planet, in my opinion. Literally everybody loves him, don't they? And I think he'd be great value as well within that group. And I can see him and Anton Deck having a right sesh, like in a casino and that at 4 a.m. Like, you can see it, can't you? Definitely.
Yeah, I could see him curling Deck. Do you know what I mean? Like, he definitely would, wouldn't he?
Yeah, you got to have The Rock.
I just love Anton Deck so much.
Yeah, the Anton Deck and The Rock were my initial, like, straight in. I've floated around on a few of them, but I haven't taken The Rock out on all my lists that every time I've done it. Because I just think, like...
Because we're like deep thinkers, right? And I've heard you mention it in our group chat before. There's like, in every like population or generation of people, there's like the thinkers bit in there. Do you know what I mean? Like people who think really deeply about stuff. And I think too deeply about stuff at times. But when I watch like famous people on telly or singers or whatever performing, I think like what's going on in their head. Like as in, so when I watch Anton Deck, I literally think to myself, like, how do you cope with being as popular and famous as you are? Because, like, Ant had his issues and went a bit, didn't he? Like, he's back now, but, like, they seem so normal for people who are literally, like, the height of fame, really, in the UK, aren't they?
Yeah.
Like, everyone knows who they are. I'd say at least 8 out of 10 people would say that they love them.
Yeah.
And I just don't know how they contain all of that and still remain like normal people.
Yeah, I think that's why everybody loves them. I think that one of the reasons why they've been able to do that is because they've got each other to like bring themselves back down to earth. Do you know what I mean? Because like they were both still together when neither of them had anything, when they met on Biker Grove and stuff. So they've always been each other's constant throughout, going all the way through to the top. Do you know what I mean? Which is why they're so close. But they're just complete pair of legends, aren't they? That's the thing. Like, I wouldn't want to use 2 spaces, but you can't have one without the other, can you?
No. So going off that same, Deck. That's weird. Going off that same kind of premise that I just said about like I have a bit of a fascination with people who are mega successful but don't go off the rails because I think that's really hard to do. I don't really listen to this person's music either, but Adele is in my dinner party cohort because mega famous here and in America. I don't dislike her music, but I don't listen to it. Do you know what I mean? I wouldn't put it on my Spotify or whatever. But I find it amazing, like where she's come from to where she is now, and yet still just seems like a classic Cockney, up for a laugh, laid back. And he hasn't made my list, but it's the same with Ed Sheeran. Like I think that they're both mega, mega, mega famous. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yet like they just seem like cool, we're good. And I'd find that really interesting to talk to her about how she copes with it all and stuff. So
yeah,
Adele would be around the table for me.
I had Ed Sheeran on the old long list. He's on my long list.
Did you?
Yeah, because for the similar reason to the Elvis thing, I think you could get him up on stage, couldn't you? Or even just sat at the table with his guitar, he could do your little tune, couldn't he? My last space then, I went for Louis Theroux.
Okay, yeah, that's a great
I
shout.
think, like, again, I think he would fit well in that group. Like, everyone's sort of a similar age, and I think he'd be up for a laugh. And he's just done so many cool things, hasn't he? You can talk to him about loads of stuff, and he just seems chilled
Yeah.
out.
My final chair goes to an ex-footballer who. So I have this thing where it's only a very short list of people, but I say to Louise, "What a man!" Right, and that means like to me, he's the pinnacle. So Steve
Yeah.
Batshaw's in there.
Yeah.
Frank Lampard's in there.
Oh, yeah.
So it's quite an elite group. And David Beckham is in there massively.
Bex. Yeah.
I love Beck. Absolute dish.
Yeah.
Just a lovely bloke by all accounts, and just from like what I've seen. Love that he stole the show at William and Kate's wedding as well. Like,
yeah.
Look better than anyone there. And again, just have plenty of nice stories, and I imagine he's quite generous in the round as well.
Oh, yeah.
So,
if that's what we're going with, it's them lot, then the drinks are on Bex and The Rock, aren't they, at that point?
Definitely, yeah. So I've got Ant and Dec on one chair, Steve Irwin, Matt Bellamy, Adele, and David Beckham. And Rob's got Ant and Dec,
The Rock, Ricky Gervais, Louis Theroux, Darren Brown.
Let us know in the comments, whose table would you rather sit at? Should we do our little year in prison game?
Oh, yeah.
So, little game that we devised in about 5 seconds. Well, we've got to think of something positive to talk about. So, let's pretend we are sentenced to prison for 1 year, okay? And we get one meal every day for the whole year you're in there, one drink every day for the whole year, a box set to last you the whole stint, one film that you can watch once a day, and one song that you can listen to once a day. So me and Robbie are going to say our options, and then all we want in the comments is whose selection is the best, effectively, so we can see who's got the better taste. On the next podcast, we'll give a few shout outs to people who leave comments, and also also comment with your choices as well. So I sat back and thought, oh, this is easy. I'll just reel off my favourite film, favourite song. But on reflection, it's not actually that easy because, so for example, my favourite meal is like proper American cheeseburger, fries, and milkshake, like that kind of thing. Don't want that every day.
Why not?
I think you get sick of it.
Yeah.
My favourite song is like quite a slow, depressing song by Radiohead. You wouldn't want to listen to that in prison every day. No. So we've got to actually be a bit more tactical.
Yeah.
So do you want to start off with, where do you want to start?
Meal?
Okay.
Yeah. I'm going to sound like such a basic bitch when I say this, right? Spag bowl.
As much as I am. Spag bowl.
You know what that sounds like, right? Do you know Joel Corey, the DJ? Right?
Yeah.
Years ago, people may know this, he was like a minor character on Geordie Shore.
Was he Sophie's boyfriend?
Yeah, because he was Sophie's boyfriend. And the series where they went to Cancun, he like flew out there to go and meet them or whatever. And they met away from the group at a restaurant, right? So she's like looking at the menu and stuff, and the waiter comes over, obviously speaking like Spanish and stuff. And he just came across as a complete basic bitch because there were all these like really nice things on the menu, and he was just looking at the waiter going, "Yeah, have you got a spag bowl? You got a spag bowl?" Like that. And I just thought that is me saying this, isn't it? Like it is nothing, but it is just. I think I would like it. I had spag bowl 4 days a week for 3 years at uni. 4 or 5 days a week, and never got bored of it. So I know I wouldn't get bored of it, and I think it's quite if it's done well, obviously it's quite a round meal in terms of you get a lot of stuff in there. So yeah, spag bowl.
Okay, I'm going for even more basic bitch, beans on toast with grated cheese on top.
Oh yeah, cheese beano.
Yeah, you can't actually beat beans on toast if you think about it. You could have it breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Just a stunning delicacy, isn't it?
Yeah, you're preaching to the choir because I have beans on toast every day. What about
Right, drink. Milk for me. Because I like water, but I'm assuming water's a standard, like you've got a tap in your room or something. So, glass of milk. Yeah. Green milk.
Mine's on the same lines. Banana milkshake.
Say spag bol and banana milkshake.
Yeah, because I think it's like a nice treat, isn't it? Like every day, but it was something to look forward to every day. Like when you're in there for a year. I never get bored of them. When we went traveling a few years ago in Vietnam, I had one every day for 3 weeks, and I was looking forward to it every day still. So I think I would.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
So that's our meal and drink sorted. Let's do box set. I'm going for Royal Family.
Nice, classic.
One of my favourite comedies. It's so like easy. I mean, it's proper easy watching, easy viewing. And yeah, I've not got bored of it up to my 26 years of existence yet. So I'm pretty sure I could deal with it for a year.
How long is it though? That's the only thing. How many series is there and stuff?
There's like 3 series and a few Christmas specials.
Yeah, the Christmas specials are long enough.
And each episode's like an hour, aren't they, or 50 minutes or something?
What, on the series?
Let me have a look.
I don't think so.
Pull that up, Jamie. It is great having a laptop just like here for reference.
Yeah, it is good.
How long are Royal Family episodes?
God, you're such an old person. Why are you Googling the question? Why don't you just Google Royal Family, look at the Wikipedia page? Is that how you Google stuff?
Yeah. Why is that an old person?
How many times has Ronaldo kicked it in the goal hole?
I don't know. It doesn't say how long they are.
Oh, I bet I can find it in literally 2 minutes.
Well, how can everyone can find it in 2 minutes?
No, just type the Royal Family into Google, right? Then you go on the Wikipedia page for that. You'll see it says it's got 3 series, 25 episodes. Then you go to the list of episodes, right? And you can have a look, series overview. It tells you how many people watched it and all sorts.
And then how long are they?
The running times are 30 to 60 minutes. So the episodes are 30, I think, and then the specials are 60.
Okay. Yeah, I could definitely make that do me.
Yeah, decent. Can't believe how bad you are at Googling stuff.
Yeah. I still use Ask Jeeves, I
do. There's one obvious answer. Prison Break. Right?
Yeah.
Because, like, inspiration. Well, I didn't go for that in the end. Prison Break, by the way, especially the first series, is absolutely fantastic. One of the greatest TV shows of all time. Yeah. So yeah, the first, and it's like there's loads of it. I think there's what five series now, 5 or 6 series. And it's like one of those American shows where it's a 60-minute episode and they're 24 for first series. Like there's loads of it, so it would be a good option to be fair. But too much of a busman's holiday, isn't it? Watching Prison Break whilst being in prison. Do you know what I mean?
Definitely, yeah.
So I went for something that has a lot of episodes. 9 series, 6 episodes each, 54 half-hour episodes of comedy. I've watched it about 15 times already, all the way through. Peep Show.
Nice.
Just because I know for a fact that I can watch it all the way through time and time and again and not get bored of it because I've done it so many times already. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So yeah, Peep Show, that would definitely get me through a year.
Okay. And now song.
Okay. Can we do
I've gone
film first?
Okay, yeah, go on then.
Because I chose my film on the fact that we were only allowed 1 song. So I thought, let's pick a film that's got a really good soundtrack.
Oh, that's a good shout.
Shrek 2.
It's got nice. Nice.
Shrek
2 is such a good film.
Fantastic film. It's like, I couldn't go for it. Again, there's another obvious example, Shawshank Redemption. Again, for the inspiration of breaking out, but Busman's Holiday. So I thought it's got to be cartoon and like fun because you take your mind off being in prison. Shrek 2, one of the greatest films of all time. And it's got an amazing soundtrack. so I wouldn't care about my one song a day because I've got like Funky Town and all that sort of stuff. Do you know what I mean? Like in Shrek. That was my thinking on that.
Yeah, I wish I'd have thought along them lines.
What have you got for?
Titanic. Let me tell you why, right? Toy Story 1 is my favourite film ever. But I don't know. Maybe it could maybe be Toy Story 1, but I'll stick with Titanic. Titanic's my second favourite film ever. Because it's, and this is the reason why I put it in, it's so, like, timeless in the fact that, like, is that the right word? It still feels like it could be released today, and the graphics still stand up.
Age as well, yeah.
Yeah, and like no matter how many times I watch it, I'm still hooked, and like I think the whole thing flows so well, and there's no boring bits to it. It just like goes and goes, and then like 3 hours later, you're like, oh, that was good. I could definitely watch that.
Is it not a bit depressing for like when you're in prison?
Not really, because I'd think fucking hell, I'd rather be in prison than drowning.
I thought that's why I want to do that before song, because I don't really care about my song basically because I've got Shrek. So I've gone for my favourite song ever is Bed Shaped by Keane, but I don't think I can. I think that'll be too gloomy to have that.
Yeah.
So I've gone for like an anthem, one of my top 5 favourite songs as well. Don't Look Back in Anger, Oasis.
Nice.
It's a bit of anthemic, innit? You could probably, maybe some days you wouldn't even bother listening to it, and then other days you'd belt it out. Do you know what I mean? Depending on how you feel.
Yeah. It's funny because you have certain things you say in general life or on this podcast that are like quite sophisticated and like educated, and then you say stuff like spag bowl and Don't Look Back in Anger, like 2 of the like biggest white boy things I've ever heard in my life.
Well, no, I'm not having that. Don't Look Back in Anger is a fucking great song. It's like that.
No, it's a great song, but it's a proper like lads like song, isn't it?
Yeah, I've said this for years, and I'm going to keep banging this drum until it happens, but I think it should be the national anthem, or at least the football specific one. So, you know, there's like, which country is it that's got a rugby anthem or whatever? It might be Wales or Scotland or someone. Mm-hmm. They've like, so obviously their national anthem is the same as ours, but they have their own one for when they do, you know, like Flower of Scotland and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I believe the football version of our national anthem should be Don't Look Back in Anger by Oasis. It just glows so well with like thousands of people singing it.
Yeah. Fair enough.
What would yours be then?
Hi,
Sonny. Is it My Heart Will Go On?
Well, it's funny you should say that because I was going to go for like quite a dramatic song. So again, this is a bit cringy, but you know, I've got to admit it. It's just how it is.
Mention it.
Celine Dion. Is it called The Power of Love? Power of Love, Celine Dion.
But you actually having a Celine Dion song. So you've had Titanic and then a Celine Dion.
No, I'm not.
Oh, right. Okay.
I'm just saying links well. The Power of Love, Celine Dion, is probably going to be our first dance song. Eventually. So I was going to go for that, but then I thought, nah, fuck it. So I've gone for Saturday Night by Whigfield. Because it was number 1 on the day I was born. And this is my logic, right? It's also like you just mini 3-4 minute exercise every day.
You in prison.
So you're lying there, and then you're like, oh. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Dun, 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 and it'll be, I don't know why I went to do the Macarena then, but that's what I've gone for.
Do you imagine that it would play through the PA system, or would you have control of when it came on?
I imagine that they would just play it like, 7 p.m. every day. Do you know what I mean? Like it's coming on.
So you just come back from being like shanked in the toilet or whatever, and that's not a euphemism, I mean stabbed.
Yeah.
Philip
Schofield shanked you in the toilet.
Yeah, and then it comes on, and you've got to be ready for it.
So leave in the comments, guys, because we need to determine a winner here. Beans on toast with cheese, with a glass of milk, Titanic on, Saturday Night by Whigfield, and a box set of Royal Family to fall back on. That's your first option. So put Tommy if that's your option. And Robbie is Spag Bowl, Banana Milkshake, Peep Show box set, Shrek 2, and Don't Look Back in Anger.
Sorry, but that sounds
Now,
great.
that's a great night.
All right, thanks for watching, guys. We hope this has been recording. If not, then this is going to be a very short episode. Please subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. We're on the march to 500. We want to get to 1,000 subs by the end of this year. So check out all our social medias as well. Follow us on Instagram, Twitter, on Facebook as well. Because we're going to be doing a giveaway when we get to 500 subs. Got a few prizes and stuff to give out. So we'll see you next week.
See you later.